Hello guys, this is my CSC 380 assignment for baby name generator. This is my main class. I'm gonna demonstrate my code running. 1, 2, 10, 5, 3. It's gonna return 5 names. I'm gonna show you the goal. Number 2. It's gonna generate the goal names. So this is my main method. I have all the variables defined, the destination of the file, and so the read file is the scanner that reads each line and saves it into the name boys array. And so if the person is a boy, it's gonna call the get names on the boy list, and if it's a girl, then it's gonna call the get names on the girls list, and it's gonna print all the names. This is just like inputs, like so my function is going to keep on asking inputs if the inputs are not right. So if I have 2, minimum length of the name should be 0, so it asks me to enter a number, and unless I don't enter, it's not going to stop. So that's just like checking, and this is the method that does it. So for model, so I have like 2 hash tables, one for the current and one that has the probabilities of each key. And I use words to keep track of the index of each letter in the key. So like if I have A and E, then it's going to keep track of E after A. So it's going to increment the index 5 since E is on the 5 in words. So it's just like append underscores to the starting like prefix and suffix of the name. It turns it to char. It goes to the char, and it of the length order, because we need because key is going to be the size of the order. This is going to look back on the orders, like so. So in order to determine the other one, I need to look back. If the order is 3, I need to look back 3 letters. So it's going to save that key into a string key, and for the value, it's going to take the index, as I said before. It's going to take the index of names. So if you have A and E, it's going to take the index of E and put it in the value. So in this one, it checks if the key is already in the hash table, and if it's not, and if it is, it's going to increment the value. It's going to increment 5, like for E, in the val array, and replace it with the new one. And if it's not, it's gonna add a new one, and like fill it with 0, then add a new one and put it in the hash table. So this one is the probability. So for every key, I get the key in the current key set. I get the value from the key. This is the probability value array. So like I use this sum to get the average of the values in the array, and I divide each value by the sum, so I have the probabilities for each value, and I put that into the probability array, and I use the probability for the next one. Okay, so I have the same thing. I have words, and like I use it to char array, just like it doesn't matter. So it takes like a lot of inputs: min, max, num names, order, and given names. So it goes through the name, it appends underscore, and now it keeps on doing it keeps on generating the random value until the name is greater than the order, and the name does not equal underscore that means the name does not end. So I have this type checking, no, like checking if it contains, then because it's gonna give me an error if I don't do it. It generates the random value, and if so it subtracts the value from the random, and if the random's like more, if the value is more, the random is going to be less, and that's why it checks if it's like less than 0. So it like adds it to the name, and it just like checks in here if it's like under the domains, like for min and max length, and if it's not in the given name list, that means it's like it's novel. It's going to return the name and increment the count and return the generated names and add those names into the list. Thank you.